If you could change a customer's credit score 50 points, is there some customers you would make money on that you are not now making money on? If you could bring a customer's credit score up 50 points in 24 hours,
Make a lot more money.
okay. Now you can't always do that, but I want you to realize when you can do it. There are 2 times that I see opportunity to do that. First of all, Mr. Customer, what are you driving right now? Now, if they've got pretty bad credit, if they're one of your people, what are they probably driving?
Their auntie's car.
Or what else?
A buy here, pay here car.
A buy here, pay here car. They're making weekly payments on their car, right? Is a buy here, pay here dealership a member of the credit bureau?
Nope.
Usually not. Sometimes, but very rare. You know, like this club, we have one, but they're.
I'm going to tell you most buy here, pay here lots are members of the credit bureau. You see their inquiries all the time, don't you? Do you know a buy here, pay here lot that doesn't pull a customer's credit when they deliver them? They're members of the credit bureau, then, aren't they? You're in the independent business. I don't know an independent dealer that's not a member of the credit bureau. So buy here, pay here dealers are members of the credit bureau. And as a lender making retail installment loans, I can force them to report the credit. I can put that buy here, pay here car in the credit bureau by tomorrow morning. And in some cases, that'll bring their credit up 40, 50 points when I add a new installment loan, if their debt load's not out of whack. What do? You go to the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. All credit bureaus have FCRA on their websites. Asperian, Equifax, TransUnion. They all have FCRA complaints on their websites. Fair Credit Reporting Act. You get the customer to go to FCRA and say, find it, credit complaint. You go to the credit complaint, FCRA, on the website of the lender, of the credit bureau. Dear CBI Equifax, it has come to our attention that our good credit loan with Bendover Motors has not been reported to the credit bureau. Bendover Motors, there really is such a place in Nashville, Tennessee, used car lot called Bendover Motors. Has a picture of the guy on the sign, Ben Dover, like he's the owner of the dealership. Bendover Motors. There's a dealership in Cedar Falls, Iowa called Dick Witham Ford. Did you hear that? I mean, a Ford dealership, a franchise store called Dick Witham Ford. Now, if I was that guy, wouldn't I call myself Richard Witham?
Yeah.
I don't know why he does that, but he does.
Maybe he wants to date with them.
Is that true of also title loans?
What's that?
Can you force title loan companies to do that too?
No, because they don't own the car until they own the car.
Okay.
Now, they've got to own the car, but see, now,
Isn't there some kind of law, the reason that they're able to charge the amount of interest they had is because they don't report to the credit bureau?
no.
Now, is it really 48 hours that it'll appear on their credit?
Well, usually I get it within 24 hours if I say there's a credit decision pending. Now, what I want the consumer to put in the FCRA is, Dear CBI Equifax, it has come to our attention that our good credit with Bendover Motors, 123 Main Street, Atlanta, Georgia, has not been reported to the credit bureau. We have a credit decision pending. You want to put that somewhere in the credit decision pending. Very important thing to have in the write-up. There it goes.
Can we have them do that from the dealership?
Nope. The credit bureau will contact the dealership and do all the legwork.
No. Can we go to the website from the dealership and guide the customer through it?
Yeah, you guide them to the credit bureau's website.
Yeah.
No, you guide the customer to the credit bureau website. There it is, guys. There's Google. Dick Witham Ford. If I was this guy, wouldn't I change my name to Richard Witham?
Probably gets good. I mean, everybody wants to talk about it. Probably gets good publicity.
Oh, I think it's probably been discussed at his dealership a time or two. Bend Over Motors, Dick Witham Ford, you know, what the heck. But anyway, dear CBI Equifax, it's come to our attention that our good credit with Bend Over Motors, 123 Main Street, has not been incorporated into our credit file. We have a credit decision pending. We would like this investigated and incorporated into our credit file immediately. Generally, within 12 hours, that $5,000 credit installment loan will appear in their bureau. And remember, credit scores go up at the speed of light. Credit scores change immediately when the credit bureau gets new information. At the speed of electricity, it'll change. Okay, so I have also used buy here, pay here furniture. Does anybody have a Badcock Home Furnishings in your market? You do. Yeah. That's Bogue furniture, right? Yeah. Buy here, pay here furniture. Does Badcock report to the bureau?
No.
You can make them report to the bureau. You can go to the credit bureau and say, all right, come to our attention, our installment account with Badcock Home Furnishings has not been reported to the credit bureau. We'd like this investigated and immediately incorporated into our credit file, and they'll make Badcock put it in. Same thing with rent to own. If they rented until they owned, you cannot do it while they still have a rental contract rolling. But if they have rented till they owned, I can get that put in the bureau. You follow what I'm saying? So, used to be Hellig Meyer, Badcock. In Atlanta, we used to have Wolfman's Home Furnishings. Wolfman was the same kind of deal. Ask for the Wolfman, you know.
Yeah, that's what we got too, then back up.
What's that?
Farmers furniture.
Yeah. And it's also Bogues.
Oh, yeah.
Buy here, pay here furniture. I mean,
$50 a week.
so anyway, look for things you can put into the bureau. You know, everybody's trying to see what they can get taken out of the bureau. That doesn't work. It usually is their bad credit. But I can have a good credit put into their bureau. You have the legal right to do that. So try to have good credit put in there. And you've got time to do that. That's what you do, credit surgery. I mean, this is this good for you?
Yeah, there's parts of it that I can take back and incorporate into what I use. A lot of what you said that pertains to my folks that I'm already utilizing as well. So.
You got to remember, he's got one heck of a credit operation. You would envy. They've got a separate website, separate billboards around town. You've got all sorts of stuff working with credit, right?
Yeah, we've got having a lot of inventory helps as well. You know, we've got about 1,200 used vehicles, so you know, we get a lot of trades. So I get a lot of vehicles that fit in that 10,000 and under, range for my folks.
When I was working with Bone Brothers in New Orleans before Group 1 bought them, I was working with Bone Brothers Toyota, and I told the buyer, now we're going back to 2003, 2. I said, look, I want you to go to the auction and buy me a whole truckload of Plymouth Alliances. Remember Plymouth Alliance? Piece of crap car. Remember that Plymouth Alliance? He said, we're a Toyota dealer. We don't stock that kind of stuff. I said, yeah, we do. I want a whole truckload of Plymouth Alliances. So he went and bought them. We stashed them behind the fence because that car, you could buy them for $4,000 and they booked for $9,000. Yeah. You could buy them for $4,000 and the book on them was $9,000. I mean, CPS Financial was eating those puppies up. So,
Good old days.
what's that?
Good old days.
The good old days. You know, you got to buy cars that you can buy cheap that book high. I mean,
One time the Grand Cherokees were that way.
Nitros are like that now.
what?
The Dodge Nitros are like that now.
Dodge Nitro. Okay, so the other thing I'm looking for in the credit interview is dangling balances. Balances in the credit bureau that they have paid off that are still in the credit bureau. Now, there are companies that deliberately leave balances in people's credit bureaus. Loan companies, finance companies. Now, this is generally stuff that happens in the hood. We don't see it in other neighborhoods as much as when I was working in the dealerships in the hood. But when you're working dealerships in the hood, they got finance companies down there that leave a $3,000 balance after the customer's paid it off. So the customer's paid off the balance, but they still left a $3,000 balance in their bureau. That balance is dragging their credit score down. And this is where you have to have the consumer call the lender, the finance company, directly. Hello, Premier Finance. Premier Finance, we're one of your previous customers, John and Martha Jenkins. It's come to our attention you've left a $3,000 balance in our credit bureau.